It's beer o'clock on Real Ale Craft Beer. Today we got an Australian Pilsner to show you. But this won't be not just kind of any Australian lager. This won't be a Carlton lager or a Foster's lager or a Castlemaine 4X lager. This is a lager from Deeds Brewing Company. Deeds Brewing Company, one of the finest multi-award winning craft breweries coming out of Australia at the moment. Every single beer that I've had from Deeds Brewing Company has been fantastic. This is their deep cut Pilsner. It's 5.5% ABV. It's a limited edition beer in a 440 milliliter can. The hops are Laurel, Magnum, Hallertau and Mittelfru. And the style is Pilsner. So they're based in Victoria, Australia, proudly independent since 2012. I want to say a massive thank you to Trav in Australia. Cheers, Trav, for sending me this beer. It's currently Thursday. The sun is shining. And I'm about to review an Australian Pilsner. What's not to love from life? Here we go. Little bit of smoke on the can opening, beer in the glass. We have a hazy looking lager, unfiltered lager here. 2-finger white head. Slow moving carbonation as the beer rises up the glass. Small bubbles. Looks absolutely incredible. The glass I'm using, Skagen Brewhouse. I believe they're from Lithuania. I believe so. If I'm wrong, please correct me. But they're brewers of great lagers, this brewery. So I thought to myself, if I'm going to use a lager glass for this Australian beer, then I might as well use my Skagen Brewhouse glass. Aroma then on the beer. Oh, wow. Wow. Now, I'm not sure if you can hear the humming. I've turned my Philips Perfect Draft on after 6 months. We just finished filming Pavel Quack, 8.3% ABV, amber, malty, Belgian double of a beer. And my slight fear was I needed to get that done quick because I had a little window of opportunity to do it. But it led to me then reviewing the Pilsner after. And my fear was that the Pavel Quack was going to completely ruin my palate for this Pilsner. But none of it. Absolutely none of it. The hops coming through on this beer are incredible. Lemon, orange peel, tangerine, touch of grapefruit, dry Pilsner qualities to the beer, spicy, peppery, kind of slight earthiness. Smells great. Smells absolutely great. Let's dive in. Cheers, everybody. Oh. That is some Pilsner. That is some Pilsner. New World Pilsner. Definitely not an Old World Pilsner. There's definitely some Old World kind of flavours coming through. There's definitely some kind of dryness, pepperiness, bitterness on the back end. That'll probably be the Mittelfrau hops coming through, the German hops there. But honestly, everything else is just New World. Absolutely New World. Lovely and hazy. Lots of tangerine-like flavours coming through, lots of lemon, touch of grapefruit, a little bit of sweetness from the malt to begin with. Peppery, spicy bitterness on the back end. Great lacing on the glass. I mean, this is wonderful Pilsner. Now, Trav sent me another Pilsner. It was a white wine barrel aged. I believe it was a version of this beer because I only reviewed that yesterday. And a lot of that review I was talking about the white wine barrels and how the white wine had an influence on the beer. Now, after reviewing it, and I probably got them the wrong way round. I probably should have done this beer first and then the barrel aged beer, because actually, as much as I was loving those kind of white wine flavours, actually, if I'm completely honest with myself, I think a lot of the flavours are actually coming from the hops in the base beer, in this base beer. And the white wine characteristics, the oaky characteristics, were a little bit of an added extra, if you like. This is great Pilsner. Now, this is just a little bit of feedback for Deeds Brewing Company. The fact that they're brewing Pilsners already suggests that they already know this, and I'm probably talking on deaf ears, but I'd rather say it than not say it. But for me, if there was going to be a year for craft Pilsners, craft lagers, then I think that breakout year. Now, we've been talking about it in the industry. If you've been in the craft beer industry, we've been talking about this for at least 5 years. Whenever I go, when I went to Sweden 3 or 4 years ago, I was sat with the owner of Tool Brewery, Lervig, and another relatively large craft brewer. We had breakfast together and we kind of talked about beer, and we talked about lager, and we talked about kind of lager being the next frontier in craft beer. It's taken an awful lot longer to get to where I think the craft brewers wanted lager to be, but I think we might be finally getting there now. The problem that craft lager has is that there's a number of relatively large lager breweries out there that are producing pretty decent lagers, and the difference is finer, if you like. It's not very difficult, but it's more difficult to pick out a craft Pilsner than, say, picking up a Kronbacher or a Warsteiner from Germany on a local British supermarket shelf. It would be hard pressed to really find a difference, whereas the craft version of the Pilsner or lager will probably be 50 pence to £1 more. And that's always been the barrier to craft Pilsners and lagers really taken off, I would say, is that there's so many good German breweries doing it and Czech breweries doing it, and they're doing it for cheaper as well. The struggle is getting people to part with their money with a craft Pilsner over a Warsteiner or a Kronbacher. But I think we're nearly there. I think the craft brewers know. I mean, I'm drinking something from Deeds here, which is simply incredible. I think the question would be, would I rather drink this over a Warsteiner or a Kronbacher? And would I be willing to pay 50 pence to £1 more for this particular beer? I think I would buy 2 bottles of Warsteiner and 2 cans of this, because this is different. This is hoppy, this is flavoursome, this is very craft beer. And I think that kind of champions both kinds of parts of the market, doesn't it? You're helping your craft brewer out by buying 2 cans of their beer, and you're kind of drinking the beer that's kind of relatively cheap and pretty decent for the money. So there's a nice balance. So two of the Warsteiners or the Kronbackers, and two of these deep cuts. And I think brewers need feedback like this. They need feedback like this because otherwise they're just peeing in the wind, isn't they? They're trying to kind of look through the Untapped ratings, and they're going through their sales figures and everything else. That, you know, proper feedback like this is probably what they need and want. I love that beer. Deep cut Pilsner from Dee's Brewing Company is terrific. It's probably one of the best Pilsners, craft Pilsners, we've ever reviewed on the channel. Stone the Crows, thank you for sending, Trav. 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10 from Real Ale Craft Beer. Please put your comments in the comments box. Subscribe to our daily beer and food reviews. Give us a big fat thumbs up. Boom. Cheers.